Verse 730. The theorisers wish to see the Skandhas in the middle existence. Likewise, they wish a being born in the world of formlessness is of no form. What else is there? I was recently asked a question about the importance of study, the importance of studying the Dharma. And my reply was, in regards to enlightenment practice, it's of no consequence whatsoever. So does this mean that you shouldn't study it? Or there's no need to study it? Well, there are two kinds of study. There's a study which tries to create a mental framework, a mental map. It tries to get all these pieces to fit together so you've got a comprehensive mental understanding. And that's really the sort of study which I would say is of no use whatsoever. But if you look at these videos of mine, and if you go to the index and have a look, you'll see there's quite a lot of what we could call technical stuff. And I hope it's obvious that my approach is quite different. This technical stuff isn't being used to create a mental map, to create mental understanding. It's being used to identify, to bring into awareness very deep aspects of what is going on, very deep aspects of experiencing. In the previous verse, I mentioned the 4 abodes of egolessness. This isn't something to be memorized, it's something to be observed. It's something to be practiced. Otherwise, forget it. And if you're practicing it, you can't forget it. And in the previous verse, we were told that these 4 abodes of egolessness arise from the non-existence of form. Non-existence of form. So this was explored in the previous video. Now in this current verse, we've got talk of the triple world, trying to understand what's meant by the triple world. And in Buddhism, the triple world is the world of desire, the world of form, and the world of formlessness. So it seems here, in trying to understand what is meant by the non-existence of form, when you try and think about this and try and get a mental map, you might think, well, non-existence of form, isn't that the same as the world of formlessness? So this is the theorisers. They're trying to fit what was a practical realization into a theoretical roadmap. So the theorisers wish to see the Skandhas in the middle existence. This will be the world of form. The Skandhas, according to traditional teaching, are a way of subverting the idea of an ego soul. So I think the understanding here is, once you appreciate this, you move on to the world of formlessness, which is beyond the Skandhas, which is really quite different to what was being said in the previous verse. Because the non-existence of form, realizing this, the realization of this is actually going beyond the triple world. And the world of formlessness is the world of meditation. It belongs to the world of meditation. The realization of formlessness belongs to the realm of insight. it's probably better not to dwell too much on this. And I suspect that's what the final question, what else is there? It seems a bit cryptic, but I think there's a sense here that we shouldn't really dwell on this too much. The theorisers are going to get on with it, and I think we have to leave them to it. Those that are interested in studying the Dharma and somehow making it all make sense, we have to leave them to it. We use these teachings to come back to the immediacy of our experiencing, but if we start getting tangled up in head processes, then let's leave it. And it is a problem because you do find so much nonsense spouted in the name of spirituality. In fact, 99, I think the vast bulk of any spiritual teachings, even Buddhist teachings, are really quite irrelevant to spiritual understanding. And in fact, it's one of the things which prompted me to embark on these videos. The amount of nonsense that is out there in the name of spirituality. Well, if people want to go for it, that's up to them. But I hope by tuning into the sutras, tuning into the spirit of the sutras, people can see, people can find out the truth for themselves. It's not about me telling you the truth. I'm simply unlocking these texts. And it would be good if there were others doing so, who could approach these texts, who can see the treasure that is locked within them and endeavour to reveal it. As long as they're not theorisers. So the next verse or two are on the same kind of spirit. Verse 731. If one says that emancipation is attained without exerting oneself, as there are no beings, no Vijnanas, this is no doubt a philosopher's theory. The theorisers do not understand. Yeah, you get these statements, don't you, that we're all enlightened already, so we don't need to do anything. Since nothing is, since everything is all illusion, we don't need to bother. Well, this might have some sort of psychological benefit. You know, if you're an uptight person, that might be quite refreshing. Spiritually though, it's completely useless. In spiritual practice, we have to make a huge effort, a superhuman effort. It is actually the effort of not doing anything, which might sound like a nice option, but it's rather like the heroin addict, the junkie. His effort, the effort of the junkie is not to do something, it's not to take the drugs. In the same way, the enlightenment practitioner has to not take the drug of samsara. And the drug of samsara is the promise of happiness in an external world. As enlightenment practitioners, we don't buy into that. And yet we're pulled on a very primordial level. It's like we've got this itchy spot that we want to scratch. Not scratching it, it's a very big effort. So We have to be very careful about these glib statements which come from profound spiritual insight, but yet the implications of it are taken by the mind. They're understood in a purely mental level. The next verse actually comes back to the world of formlessness, but I think I'll leave that till the next video.